Welcome to my March 27th, creating photos and videos. As soon as I ordered my 12.9 iPad Pro, which is a fairly sizable iPad, nice thing about it versus the previous generations is that the screen remains at 12.9, but the physical size is not as big as the older ones were. But I still need a case, and I have several requirements that a case must meet. And so I ended up getting 3 different cases for 3 different purposes. And one of the things, my primary interest is that I have a place to hold the pencil. A secure place. Most cases for the new 2018 iPad Pros, the 11-inch and the 12.9, have a slot where you can put the pencil for charging. You put it on, depending on the orientation, on the side or on the top. And the cases generally accommodate that either through a little groove slot or having nothing on that particular side of the iPad at all. So that's good, but the pencil is easily removed. Even though it's snug in this particular case, it's easily removed or can get knocked out if you hold it. So that, as I said, was one of my primary requirements for a case, that it have a place to store the pencil. And this particular one, which is my pretty much everyday case, has a little sleeve in the back, an expandable elastic kind of sleeve. And so it does stick out a little bit, but it's not offensive at all. Another feature I was looking for in a case was that it allowed for multiple angles of view. Many cases come with just 2 or 3, and I wanted more than that because I use this to write, I use it to watch videos, but I also use it to sketch. And you want a kind of closer, almost a flat angle for doing that. And actually, the case I ended up getting is, after watching some reviews on YouTube, is the ZuGu case, Muse case for 12.9. I've been very happy with it because it has that place to hold the pencil. It has multiple angles, as you can see in the video, for positioning the iPad, and so that makes it really very attractive. One problem with this case, though, is it doesn't let me use the new hyperdrive attachment that I got through a Kickstarter project. And the hyperdrive attachment plugs into the USB-C port and allows me to connect an HDMI cable or a USB Type A cable, a USB Type C for charging, and an earplug, and a couple other things. But it won't fit because the case extends out too much in that hole. Nor can I use this little Anchor card reader that I got. It's a SD and a micro SD card reader from Anchor, and it will go in, but it doesn't go in all the way, and so it doesn't really make contact. So I had to take the iPad out of the case in order to do that. It's not a big deal, but it is a little frustrating. And so that's typically what I do. But if I wanted to use the hyperdrive, then I need to have a case that is going to free up that side so I can plug the hyperdrive in. And the occasions for doing that would be as if I were doing a presentation and I need to connect to an HDMI cable to connect to a projector. And so that is what I get with this case. So this case has got a shell that the iPad goes in, and it frees up the side. So there's nothing on the side to prevent me from plugging in this or the hyperdrive. Another thing that the HZSSEC multi-angle case has is the ability to use your iPad. Let me put it in here. Easy to get on and off, that's the good news. But as you can see, it doesn't cover up this side, and it's free to put in things like this little drive. So that fits snugly, as does the hyperdrive. But what I like about this case is it allows you to use your iPad in portrait mode as well as landscape mode. Now, it's called multi-angle, but it only has 3 angles. So that's one of the things I don't like about it. You know, and it's a good case. It covers it up nicely, and it's compact. It's not very heavy, so that's nice. Another feature I thought I would like in a case is having a keyboard. I don't use a keyboard that much. I'm really comfortable typing on the on-screen keypad. I'm a fairly fast typer with a computer, and I've gotten to be quite fast just with using my index fingers on both hands. But a keyboard sometimes can be handy. For example, I use LumaFusion a lot, and I know there are a lot of keyboard shortcuts that I could use. I don't have a keyboard, so I really can't try them. But that's something that I thought would be interesting. So I got this IVSO case that has a keyboard incorporated in it, and it's really quite nice. The keyboard, the case has a magnetic field to it, so the keyboard attaches to it, so it's not coming off. It's a micro USB chargeable keyboard, and it connects to the iPad via Bluetooth, so it's not using this special connection. Another nice thing about this case is it also has a place to store the pencil inside the case itself, so it's not outside dangling someplace. So we'll see how I use this. You might seem a little crazy to have 3 different cases, but 3 different purposes, and so that's why I've done it. But I can recommend all 3 of these cases for their specific reasons. Now, this case, as well as the last one that lets me use the hyperdrive, only have 3 viewing angles. And that's kind of a showstopper for me, because having the different angles and having that low angle for drawing is more important to me than even having the portrait. Another reason that the keyboard case is not one that I really, unless I need the keyboard, that I probably will carry around with me very much, because it comes in at almost 2 pounds. So when you add the 1.4 pounds of the iPad, which really seems quite light, I can't believe it's 1.4 pounds, that's kind of a heavy package. The Muse case is not that heavy. I think it's only 1 pound, and so it's a lighter bundle, if you will, than having the keyboard, the iPad, and the case itself. So if it's something you're looking for, then these are things that I own. I'm not reviewing these for anybody else. These are things that I can recommend because I bought them and I use them, and they're good quality cases. So thank you very much for checking in on this, creating photos and videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.